Лево, 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 лево. Есть твоя. Ой.
Ukrainian fighters in the Sumy region destroyed several groups of Russian infantry numbering about 15 people, 2 quad bikes, and 1 buggy, according to the air assault forces of the armed forces of Ukraine. The anti-aircraft operators of strike drones of the 88th Halakina Brigade stopped several groups of Russian infantry totaling about 15 people in the Sumy region during the night. The Russians crossed the border and were moving toward Ukrainian positions. The airborne troops also managed to destroy 2 quad bikes and 1 buggy. The enemy thought that at night it would not be noticed, but it was wrong and was destroyed, the military noted. According to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, since the beginning of the full-scale war, Russia has lost an estimated 1,172,860 service members. The losses of the Russian troops over the past day amounted to 1,160 people. Also yesterday, Ukrainian troops destroyed 5 tanks, 14 armored combat vehicles, 7 artillery systems, 2 multiple-launch rocket systems, 508 unmanned aerial vehicles of the operational tactical level, 29 missiles, and 49 units of motor vehicles. Ukraine's 5th Assault Brigade tested a ground drone armed with Browning M2, just as a Russian assault group conveniently showed up for a live demonstration. Both Ukrainian and Russian forces are increasingly turning to ground robots with firing capabilities as the front becomes more lethal, more static, and more saturated with surveillance drones. The battlefield is now so transparent that any movement by infantry or armored vehicles risks instant detection, forcing both sides to seek systems that can deliver firepower without exposing soldiers. Ukraine has accelerated the use of small tracked and wheeled unmanned ground vehicles equipped with machine guns, grenade launchers, and anti-tank weapons. These robots are now taking part in close-quarters assaults, clearing trenches, suppressing firing points, and even delivering ammunition under fire. Their low profile and ability to operate in ruined urban areas make them ideal for high-risk missions where crews previously suffered heavy casualties. Russia has followed the same path, deploying larger combat UGVs designed to support infantry attacks or hold defensive lines. Some are used as mobile firing platforms, while others act as decoys to provoke Ukrainian drones into revealing their positions. Ukraine's General Staff confirmed that overnight strikes hit 2 high-value Russian targets, the Afipsky oil refinery and the Beriev aircraft repair plant in Taganrog. The Taganrog facility is one of the few sites in Russia capable of upgrading 2 95 strategic bombers and maintaining A-50 AWACS aircraft, both essential to long-range missile strikes and battlefield coordination. Its disruption delivers a direct blow to Russia's aerial capabilities. At the same time, the Afipsky refinery was struck yet again, continuing a pattern of Ukrainian attacks aimed at the fuel network sustaining Russian ground operations. These coordinated strikes underscore Ukraine's strategy of degrading Russia's logistics, aviation support, and industrial capacity far behind the front lines. Russians searching for their so-called special military operation hero, Sergei Yagushev, who marked his return from Ukrainian captivity by shooting 7 fellow servicemen. Sergei Yagushev, call sign Yaga, who shot 7 of his fellow soldiers on Thursday from the 83rd Motorized Rifle Regiment, is already being searched for through all official channels. The incident could not be covered up. As we noted immediately after it happened, his nerves are at the breaking point, as he recently returned from captivity. He was taken prisoner on December 16, 2023. He may be extremely dangerous. His last known location was the Belgorod region. Everyone there should stay alert. Valery Zaluzhny, former Commander-in-Chief of Ukraine's armed forces and current ambassador to the UK, believes that even a long-term cessation of war without a complete Ukrainian victory provides an opportunity for full recovery and the return of citizens, but warns that a rapid peace could lead to a loss of independence. When forming the political goal of war, it is important to remember that war does not always end with the victory of one side and the defeat of the other. This was the case with World War II, but it is a rare exception because it has almost never happened in human history. The vast majority of wars end with mutual defeat, or with everyone being sure that they have won, or other options. So, when we talk about victory, we must honestly say this. Victory is the collapse of the Russian Empire, and defeat is the complete occupation of Ukraine due to its collapse. Everything else is just a continuation of the war. We, Ukrainians, of course, strive for a complete victory, the collapse of the Russian Empire. But we cannot reject the option of a long-term, for years, cessation of the war, because this is an all-too common way of ending wars in history. Meanwhile, peace, even in expectation of the next war, provides a chance for political change, for deep reforms, for full recovery, economic growth, and the return of citizens. It is even possible to speak about the beginning of the formation of a safe, maximally protected state through innovation and technology, formation and strengthening of the foundations of a just state through the fight against corruption and the creation of a fair court, formation of the outlines of future peace on the basis of international economic programs for the country's recovery. U.S. President Donald Trump warned Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro that force could be used if he does not step down voluntarily, according to the Wall Street Journal. According to the publication's sources, in the phone conversation, the presidents discussed demands for amnesty for Nicolas Maduro, his aides, and their family members. They are currently included in U.S. sanctions lists and face criminal prosecution in the country. It was previously reported about the phone conversation between the U.S. and Venezuelan presidents. It is noted that the conversation took place a few days before the State Department recognized the Cartel de los Soles as a terrorist organization. U.S. authorities believe the cartel is led by Nicolas Maduro. The day before, Trump stated that the U.S. would very soon begin measures to stop the suspected Venezuelan drug traffickers on land. Earlier, Reuters reported that Donald Trump's administration plans to launch a new stage of operations related to Venezuela in the coming days. However, journalists were unable to determine the exact timing or scale of the new operations, or whether Trump had made a final decision to act. Earlier, Trump ordered the deployment of the Southern Spear operation in the Western Hemisphere, effectively near Venezuela. Since returning to power in 2025, the U.S. president has stated that one of his priorities is fighting drugs, including fentanyl. He has identified Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro as the main drug lord.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.